Hey guys, I'm Dan and welcome to Wayne Manor. This is my first statue review for the Batman Statue Collector channel, so thank you to Chris for inviting me to give you my thoughts on this awesome piece. It's a quarter scale legacy replica piece from Iron Studios of Thanos from Infinity War. So absolutely an awesome piece. I know there's been some reviews done, at least that I've seen around, but wanted to give you my thoughts on it. As primarily a Batman statue collector, this is one of a handful of quarter scale MCU pieces that I have in my collection, and I absolutely love this one. I was torn, like I think a lot of people that I've seen in the community, about whether to pick this one up or the new Iron Studios Endgame Thanos, which is also awesome. And I'll talk a little bit more about that here momentarily as to why I went with the Infinity War piece. So overall, and I'll do some close-ups for you as we go here, overall, absolutely love the piece. One of the biggest reasons I went with this one is the dynamic pose. So the other quarter scale MCU pieces, which I think you can see over my shoulder here, that I have in my collection, most of them are somewhat dynamic. I wouldn't say that they're kind of action poses, but a little bit dynamic, not so stoic, with the exception maybe of the Sideshow Iron Man piece. And I've just felt like this one fit really well. Also scales fantastic with the Sideshow pieces as well as the MCU and even the Black Widow Gentle Giant. So all seem to scale pretty well together. Initial impressions when I first opened him, I don't know, some of you may have seen the pictures I posted of the box. I call him my miracle piece. Of those that I've received over the past few months, the box, it came absolutely demolished. I mean, it was smashed. It looked like dogs had been chewing on it, and it was awful. It was an absolute miracle that this guy wasn't damaged inside. But with all kind of the hate going around with respect to Sideshow these days, I have to hand it to them. I gave them a call, although I waited on hold for about 30 minutes. They did offer to replace both the art box as well as the shipper. Without any hesitation. So have to hand it to Sideshow there, give them their props where they're due. They really kind of stepped up and took care of me. But moving on to the statue itself, and again guys, forgive me, this is my first review, so if I stumble and bumble a bit, I apologize in advance. The base on this one is awesome. One of the things that I love about Iron Studios pieces, the ones that I have, particularly the cap from Ultron, is the quality of the base is just unbelievable. The way that they're able to capture wood and dirt and mud and so forth is just really awesome until you get to this piece. The base is definitely not this one's strength. It's kind of a rocky base to go with the battle scenes from Infinity War, and I feel like they just kind of rushed it a bit on this base. The base is kind of simple. The rocks, not a ton of detail. Not a lot of texture. Actually, I'd even suggest it's kind of overly smooth. And then there's this kind of mossy effect. I wouldn't even call it grass, doesn't look like that, but kind of a mossy effect, and it's all one color for the most part, at least. They really didn't take a lot of time here with the base. I almost feel like there was two separate teams or maybe even factories that did the base versus the statue, because the statue is exactly the opposite. So, and I'll go into those details in a minute. But then moving up the piece, the textures on the costume are awesome. The boots, the face or the head sculpts are unbelievable. And again, I'll give you some close-ups here in a second. But overall, the piece is just awesome. It is not what I would say, over the top. It actually is a realistic depiction of, I think, what we see in the movie. And so, being a little ginger here because I've got this Lazy Susan that I'm not sure is going to stand up to his weight. He does weigh a ton. This is a big piece, and I'll give you the measurements here in a sec. But overall, this guy is awesome. Let me grab my tape measure. And for those that haven't seen other reviews where, again, I know that he's been measured out and whatnot, but he is 29 inches tall or so, and his deepest point, he's probably roughly about 19 inches deep and not terribly wide, which is nice. He's about 14 inches wide, so not too bad to display. One of the concerns I had was the whole thing is leaning, right? Even the base is leaning, his top, his whole position, his body position is leaning. I thought, is he going to be tippy? He's really not, and I don't even have him on a wide stand where he sits in my collection, so he's balanced really well. I don't know exactly how they weighted this base, but he's balanced really well. So with that intro, let me get into the details, and we'll get some close-ups for you. Be right back. Okay guys, I'm back, and here you can see that awesome head sculpt I was talking about, and you can see the detail on the teeth. The teeth, I don't even know if it's coming through in the pictures on this one, guys, but the teeth are unbelievable. One of the best head sculpts I've seen on any of my statues. They're just enough shine to make them look kind of, you know, wet, and just enough detail and yellowing to make them look real. But he is absolutely phenomenal. Head sculpt, sorry about that glare from the sun, I mean, it couldn't look more like it does in the movie, I don't think. And I know I'm going kind of opposite. I figured I'd start at the top where most guys start at the bottom. And then moving down to his vest and, you know, the gold, I don't know what you'd call that, but the shielding or adornment on his vest, absolutely fantastic. The vest looks like brown leather. And the gold, for me, is just gold enough. I know I've heard some people say that the gold is a bit dull, doesn't look shiny enough. I kind of prefer the movie character. As you can tell, I collect the MCU versions of these characters. I like it. I think it's realistic, and I think it fits the character well. And then to his vest, again, hopefully the camera's picking this up. His vest is awesome. He's got kind of this, I'd almost describe it as a corduroy kind of texture to it, but it is really well done. The folds, the way that the vest wraps around his body is very realistic. Musculature of his body kind of comes through just enough, and it fits him well, etc. So looks really great. And here you go, guys. I want to give you a look at the stern-faced Thanos. This one is also fantastic. Another piece that I'm not sure, it didn't, in the other videos that I've seen on this one, didn't come through. I'm not sure if it's coming through here, but his eyes and the level of realism and how much they glisten, just enough. I mean, just fantastic. Then moving down to his skin, the skin texture is also awesome. Might be a slightly overdone, but I kind of like it when the statues err toward too much texture when it comes to the skin versus not enough. So I'm a big fan. I think it looks fantastic. The grooves in his skin also look awesome. His hands are really done very well also. I think the size and proportions in his body, just very well sculpted. And then moving to one of the best parts of this statue, sorry about that, is the gauntlet. And here, let me turn that on for you. So one of the cooler parts, and I won't bore everybody showing you again because I think everybody's seen it by now, but there's a little flashlight that's just inside his gauntlet, real easy to turn on. I think if I would have read that without seeing it, I'm not sure that I would have thought that a flashlight was the best way to solve for lighting up a gauntlet, but this one is real easy to use. The brightness of the stones is awesome, and the detail on the gauntlet also fantastic. So again, hoping this 4K camera is picking this up, but it's absolutely the between this and the head sculpt, they're the pieces that everybody notices. Moving down to his belt and his pants. Again, the belt with the leather and the gold I think looks fantastic. The pants have a corduroy texture to them. And as you can see, the folds and the way that the pants pull as he kind of strides forward looks very realistic. Everything fully sculpted and done really well. And then finally to the boots. His boots, as I mentioned earlier, really well sculpted, look like leather. Love the different colors between the boot material and then the brown leather parts at the top, and then the gold pieces that kind of provide for the armor elements. Absolutely fantastic. This side over here. Sorry if that's out of focus. So overall, guys, just wanted to do this quick review for you. If you're hung up on which one to get, this one over Endgame, I think it comes down to if you really like the armor or not. I felt like the armor kind of hides him a little bit. So between that and the stoic pose, and as I said, he'll be displayed with my small MCU collection over here. They're all kind of in motion a little bit. They're not so just standing upright. Now I know these are from a couple of different movies. I'm not collecting one particular movie. These are just my favorites from the MCU over the years. I've got another one coming actually tomorrow that hopefully, if this one goes okay, Chris would allow me to do a quick review on that one. I've got the Iron Patriot coming from Iron Man 3, and looking forward to adding that one. So hope you guys enjoyed the review. Hope you like Thanos. I love him. I wasn't planning on getting the bad guy for the MCU. I was kind of focused on the heroes, but I just couldn't resist having the hero's nemesis here in the collection. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks to Chris for inviting me to do this for the channel. I hope I did okay first time out. Looking forward to doing more. And everybody have a great day. Thanks.